Do you ever find yourself reaching for food when you're stressed, when you're tired, or when you're bored? Well, you're not alone. In fact, over 75% of people report emotional eating, according to the American Psychological Association in their 2023 study. So, in this video, we're going to talk about how to stop cravings holistically without restrictive diets. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is our Intro to Holistic Medicine, Week 5, Nutrition and Metabolic Health. And we're really understanding a root cause around our dis-ease, which is our nutrition. If you want to register for this self-paced course, there's still time. You can do that at any time. Go ahead and click the link in the bio, scroll down, complete the form, and I'll see you in the course shells, and I'll also see you in the community. So let's talk about emotional eating when it comes to food. So number one, let's recognize that everyone on some level does this, regardless if it's an extreme level or if it's in a minor level. And sometimes it's just really building awareness to when and why we do it. First thing is we want to understand the root causes. So whether that is nutrient deficiencies, like we genuinely are not eating enough, are emotional, we really don't know how to express our emotions or how to communicate our emotions, so we tend to stuff them down, or stress, we're internalizing, we're compartmentalizing. So again, we're pushing things in, or we are in the middle of some sort of, transformation, and we're looking for comfort. We're looking for security. We're looking for, somebody to soothe, right? Or something outside of ourselves to soothe. Almost like a mother hunger. And in fact, Kelly McDaniels talks about mother hunger. So if you find yourself kind of snacking in the middle of the night, even after you've eaten your full meals, it may be because of that lack of nutrients and emotional starvation as a child, and needing that comfort and needing that soothing, and really only getting it from food, technically. So first things first, it can be a really big, task to uncover the causes. So be patient with yourself. We'll do some techniques and we'll try to explore. Again, putting these healthy structures in place are automatically going to help you to see where your resistance is, where your mirror is. And that's why we don't guess. That's why we track. We make sure that we watch ourselves. And so as we are putting ourselves on the court, we're being able to observe. Okay, so let's say our blood sugar levels are going up and down. We know if we go into a hypoglycemic state, which means that our blood sugar drops, we will tend to be anxious. And so protein can help us to stabilize that feeling really fast by reducing those blood sugar crashes. Consequently, fat can do the same thing, but sometimes because of all those hydrogen bonds, when we reach for a healthy fat and we start to consume it, now it can give us that kind of soothing sensation. And so we'll want to overeat the fat. And then unfortunately, we are very limited in how much fat we can consume. And so then as we're overeating, now we're building weight. So definitely watch for the fats. I will go for healthy proteins over healthy fat to stabilize quickly. Hydration is so important. I cannot stress this enough. A lot of times people will think that hunger cues are actually hydration. Their hunger cues are food, when in fact it is hydration. And so making sure you're drinking half your body weight in ounces in water, adding your electrolytes, adding your minerals, cucumbers, all sorts of things, your apple cider vinegar, your lemon to alkaline, all of those things are going to really hydrate your cells and allow for that detoxification to happen. All right, so let's talk about some mindful eating techniques to stop overeating. One of the things that I'll ask myself is, what organ am I going to feed with this meal? Or how is this meal going to help, support my immune system, or support my hormonal system, or help my mental health? So beginning to ask those questions to myself begins to associate healthy foods with my organs and helps me to really make healthier choices. Another thing I'll ask myself is, what do I want to eat, or what's eating me, right? So those kinds of questions can help, or what am I hungry for, right? And so sometimes it's not necessarily the food that we're hungry for. Sometimes it's the emotional comfort we think we're going to get from the food. So quick story, I did a juice cleanse, and I was juicing all of these carrots. And just if you've ever done a juice cleanse and you've done a juice cleanse cleanse with carrots. Like, I mean, you just feel like you're levitating. You're like so healthy with so much nutrition. And because it was a pretty extensive juice cleanse, I wasn't eating anything. So I was missing the sensation of chewing. And so my body was giving me all these clues. But then too, my body was telling me like, oh, you need to eat this, you need to eat that. My ego, oh no, you need to do this, right? And so as I was asking myself, well, what are you actually hungry for? Because I've given you all these nutrients. All of a sudden, my subconscious started to say, oh, compassion or empathy or, something. I just needed some soothing, some support because for whatever reason, when I was detoxing my kidneys, and kidneys are all about fear and letting go of fear and trauma and all kinds of stuff, so I really wanted some comfort from that. And so me asking my question, what am I hungry for, allowed me to look for things that maybe weren't necessarily physically what I needed to eat, but were emotionally what I needed to eat. So those are some of those kind of mindfulness techniques. It's really about talking to yourself and getting present. Even when I do eat, I'm asking myself, okay, what organ am I going to eat? But how am I going to eat this? I'm very mindful when I'm eating. I eat my protein first, then my carbohydrates. I may, mix a little bit of fats in there, but I'm really mindful of how I'm building the plate and how I'm eating. If I'm doing, let's say, a animal-based protein, like a piece of fish or something like that, I want to make sure majority of my meal is that complex carbohydrate. And so I'm adding lots more of that. And so I'm making sure I'll have one bite of the fish and then many, many bites of the fiber just to help to, digest that down. Also, if I do fruit, I'm going to do fruit by itself because it's a slow fermenter. So these are some of the practical things that I'm mindful of when I'm actually eating. And so this is about building a sustainable, healthier relationship with your food, which is going to take time. I know for me, I had a very unhealthy relationship, a very almost disordered way of eating just because of my upbringing and some trauma that I had experienced. And so I really had to, connect healthier with food because everything I ate pretty much just made me sick and nauseous. And so I had to really be mindful about what I was eating. I could only really eat healthier foods. I probably was like the only kid whose, favorite meal was a salad simply because it was one of the few foods that did not disrupt my stomach, mostly because it was fresh and whole foods. And I ate a lot of whole foods growing up as a child. We were very fortunate. We still were, that generation where, you make a meal and you sit down and you eat around, the dinner table and you talk about your day and that sort of thing. So I think I'm probably one of the last generations that, really values that. So hopefully you with your family can pick that up because really teaching your children that sustainable relationship with food, having that conversation. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is please do not use food as a reward. And so we can oftentimes get into these communications that we're going to treat ourselves with food. Food is not a treat in any way. Food is just there to nourish our bodies. So reframing out, what our relationship with food looks like, making sure, that we're not creating unhealthy dynamics with our food and we're eating our food for what it actually is to provide for us, which is nutrition, not necessarily to help us, feel good about ourselves, hold our hand, tell us we're beautiful, all the things emotionally that we're looking for from other people. So hopefully that helps. Have you struggled with any cravings? If so, definitely let us know in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you around the Intro to Holistic Medicine campus and the discussions that we have every single week about holistic health.